So, apparently I missed it. This video was filmed right before the breaking news about the Chicago Street Course, so don't think I tried to make a thing and pretend like I didn't know. We know now this was filmed before. I'll have a video about all the developments that we know about the Chicago Street Course and what's coming up about it later in the day. Until then, enjoy this video before I knew what was coming. Enjoy.
The numbers are out, the ratings are in, and they are not very good on this weekend's race at Road America. The future of Road America, where it stands in the sport, how much longer is it going to be here for, and we'll kick off the show with some potential breaking news and developments about Rockingham Speedway. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron Simpson. We're going to get into Nashville in a little bit, talk about the controversy there and many more stuff with that. And we're going to talk about development situations in NASCAR as we begin to talk more on this channel about live news and stuff. We haven't done this stuff in a while. We haven't had a conversation like this in a while, and I'm happy to be back doing it here because as we've been in these months, it's been tough to be able to do something like this, so happy to do it. First off, I want to kick off the show going into Rockingham Speedway because this tweet came upon me today, and I thought it was an interesting one. It's something for us to talk about, so I said, why not? Let's do it. So here it is. This is from the Rockingham fan page. Racing confirmed for Rockingham Speedway's Little Rock. It's official. We've been given the approval to do late model racing at the famed Little Rock track at Rockingham Speedway. We've got to work out some of the details and set the date that we feel like will work for everyone involved. The goal is to create a race that will utilize the presence and history of Rockingham Speedway and the rival of the iconic Snowball Derby and Valley Star Martinsville races. We hope to have some news in the next week or two with some exciting details that will also engage the fans in the race weekend. All I can say is tune in because it's going to be a good one and definitely something unique and different. That is the tweet that came out. And obviously, you guys are probably saying, look, this is just a late model race. This has nothing to do with Rockingham returning to the main schedule. But, I mean, we've heard Dale Jr. talk about it. We've had people really get some rumblings about a potential return to Rockingham and NASCAR getting the approval to do work and Speedway Motorsports being able to do stuff at that racetrack. There's been talks about it. This is definitely not a brand new conversation one bit, and the fact that stuff is starting to move, some late model races, and not on the main track obviously, but stuff is beginning to happen. It is something to look at in my opinion. Hey, stuff is beginning to move here. We know what could potentially happen. Stuff is starting to get into the mix, and that's obviously what we want to see, is stuff start to happen. You know, things being moved into a direction where we could, if you want Rockingham, and obviously realistically, Rockingham might never be added to a schedule. I mean, who knows how it would be worked. But right now, if you're a fan and you want it back, you got a chance, as of now, for the return of the Rockingham Speedway, because, hey, it's not going to come anytime soon, but Rockingham beginning to get stuff going here, I think it will be cool to see them return to the main schedule, if you ask me. Besides that, I got another tweet that came across me today that I wanted to do, and I wanted to show you guys, because talking about one racetrack that might be added to a schedule in the near future, potentially a while down the road. Let's talk about a track that might be taken off of the schedule pretty soon, especially with the ratings this weekend. We looked at what happened if you were watching the race or you were involved with it and you watched my race recap. We talked about the potential future. Well, we didn't, but we're going to talk about the potential future of this racetrack because in reality, it's not all great. You know, this track is dealing with some problems. There's competition. Stuff wants to, drivers and other racetracks want to come into the conversation of potentially being a racetrack that they can race on, that they can have this 4th of July weekend. Let me say this before we get into what the evidence that we have against this weekend's race at Road America. Road America fits the 4th of July weekend. Not just because it's called Road America, but that's part of it, obviously. The track name, the venue, the support, the fans, places like that. That's why it is Road America. I mean, Road America does fit the 4th of July ticket. It's something that for a while there we've been discussing this track fitting the ticket. You know, it fits the ticket, it's good, it's a racetrack that is entertaining, that people do enjoy. So, look, it fits what I would want as a 4th of July race, but the actual action on track, not so much, you know? That's a different story. It doesn't fit. The action on track is very different. Let's take a look at some evidence. This is a tweet from Jeff Gluck. This is what he said. Was Road America a good race? He does the Jeff Gluck poll, and 55.6% of people said it was. You NASCAR fans, 55% of NASCAR fans said that this race was good. Last year's race at Road America, which was the inaugural race in NASCAR, 78% of the people said that that was a good race. Now, before we dive in the rest of Jeff Gluck's tweet, that's just the number right there. Overall, NASCAR fans, did they think this was a good race? 50% of you did say, 55% of you said it was. Last year, almost 80% of people said it was. Way more. You're down to almost half said it was, then you were the majority said it was. And that's incredibly big number differences. That's a big number gap there. You know, some people did. Some people didn't. And that's the number of races right there. Look, road course races are tough for your normal NASCAR fan. Obviously, those of you that have been here for a while know my stand-in on a road course race. It's not very high. I'm not the biggest road course racer fan. I rather them not race there. You know, 1 or 2 a year. We can turn left once or twice a year, but the races are just, the product and track isn't very good. You know what I mean? And obviously, I get the 4th of July weekend. I don't know many people that are sitting down and watching a NASCAR race on the Sunday of the 4th of July weekend. I know a lot of people who are out at a party or in an event. And so, you know, I get maybe having more of your boring race, I guess, potentially on that weekend. I can understand maybe that philosophy. But on the counterpart, you could have people that are like, oh, NASCAR's on. Because this time of year in the sports world is what we all call the slow season. Baseball's in its point. It's not really interesting yet. We're not close enough to the playoffs. We're in that mid-range. Every other sport has wrapped up their playoffs, and it's just baseball is the biggest mainstream sport. So for NASCAR, people are looking to watch and be entertained by a sport, and NASCAR doesn't have it. We're in the slow season, and you want to have interest in races. You want to have people appeal to your product on the racetrack, and they're not. And so when you look at it in the future, this is the slow season. This is the time where NASCAR should rise to the occasion and shine. I mean, when we look at the numbers, and when we look at the viewership, NASCAR was not far off at all from F1. Formula One racing almost outdueled NASCAR in the ratings this weekend. That can't happen. That just can't happen. But this big number right here, this was the 3rd lowest race via Jeff Gluck's poll, via the poll he does, of 2022. Only Martinsville and the All-Star race are lower. That's it. That's the third lowest race. It ranks 20th out of the 23 road course races that were put on Jeff Gluck's poll. Only 2021 COTA and Sonoma in 2018 and 2019 are lower than this race. That's not good. I mean, so when we look at it, I think that we're like, this wasn't a great race. The product on track wasn't good. The action on track was ugh. I mean, and when we look at the ratings, people didn't watch. People did not watch this race. It was very little to nothing. So, I mean, look, it's one of the third lowest races in Jeff Gluck's poll. I mean, his poll doesn't have the whole entire NASCAR audience. But a lot of people participate in it. A lot of people will vote on it. You know, another YouTuber, Iceberg, NASCAR Weekly Podcast, interested to see what his poll is all about as well. But for the most part, that's not good. Let's look at Adam Stern's tweet. He tweeted how motorsports did this week, how they do, how are their ratings, you know, and I'm always interested in this, especially when NBC is in the spotlight. You know, we're looking at NBC closely to see how they are doing recently. Here is Adam Stern's tweet. Motorsports on Sunday. NASCAR with USA at Road America had a 1.15 rating with only 1.930 million viewers. F1, which was on ESPN2. ESPN2 got a 1.239 million viewers on ESPN2. IndyCar had a really tough day with only 877,000 viewers on NBC. F1 had the most viewers in the 18 to 49 category with 643K. That's the demographic that we want, and F1 is just everybody 18 to 50. 18 to 50. That is the graphic that NASCAR and all motorsports want to grab. And I mean, I hate to be this guy, but F1's on mainstream NBC and it isn't even bringing in 1 million viewers. Can we flip-flop that? Why isn't NASCAR on NBC and F1 on USA? I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion on that. Those need to be flip-flopped. I mean, I know I'm saying that a lot. I love NBC. They're great. But USA Network, and that needs to be flipped. You know, IndyCar's not even bringing in 1 million viewers. NASCAR's bringing in 1 million viewers on USA Network. IndyCar can't even do that on mainstream NBC on the 4th of July. That needs to be flip-flopped. I'm sorry. That can't be that way. But the viewership was low as well. So what does this all mean for the future of Road America? Unfortunately, I believe Road America is getting the boot here coming up. Maybe not next year at the next schedule change whenever we get that. But pretty soon, I think Road America, we won't see it anymore. What's going to replace it? NASCAR's been real hungry for a street course race. Chicago, potentially for a street course race. I think that wouldn't really fit 4th of July, though. A street course race. We need something that fits the ticket on the 4th. That's what we need. So I don't know about the Chicago street course potentially could take Road America's spot. I don't know about on the 4th of July weekend. It would be cool. We'd be in an American city on the 4th of July and NASCAR racing on the streets and Chicago fireworks, I guess. I guess that would be kind of cool. Like in the city on the 4th. I could see them really promoting that, but I don't know. For me, it just feels like it doesn't fit the ticket. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I may be back later in the week. Who knows? And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.